My journey began in a beautiful town called Shimoga. Growing up, I was a studious kid, but I always wanted to learn through experimentation. I enjoyed building things, designing innovative small things as a child, and also wanted to iterate and tinker around. Growing up, there were many such instances where few small projects were taken up on a hobby level. Then when it came to choosing a career path, as with majority of my schoolmates or peers, I had two prominent options that people in my peer group were opting for. Either go for becoming a doctor, medical stream, or become an engineer. Having an interest and enthusiasm in designing things, I chose the field of engineering. But those 4 years of engineering were more theoretically oriented. Being studious, I focused on getting good grades, good marks, and everything was going fine. But somewhere within me, I was feeling I am not getting that opportunity, I am not getting that exposure to pursue my dream of designing things, designing products, building something cool. So I was itching to get that exposure for myself. So at the end of engineering, I had a thought I would like to go ahead, study more, and try to get an opportunity accordingly. Was preparing accordingly for few of the entrance exams, but by that time I lost my father. That was a tough time for our family. Being the eldest son, I was in two minds if I should go pursue my passion and try something new which was not explored for me, but should I take up the job in hand and support my family being the eldest son. But my mother supported me and she told me to go ahead no matter what. So eventually I ended up taking up product design as a course in my masters. I selected product design primarily as I saw the opportunity for tinkering around and building products. That was my passion, and the next 2 years were really good learning years for me. I learnt a lot about the basics of product design. How do we talk to the end user? How do we come up with solutions to solve the problems being faced by the actual user? How do we empathetically think about them? How do we stand in their shoes and feel the problem ourselves and try to find an appropriate solution? How does the brainstorming and idea generation stages work? How do we then narrow down the problem statement, define it properly, and then come up with iterative solutions? And at every stage of the product innovation phase, how does a designer go back to the user, take their valuable feedback, incorporate in the solution being developed, and how does it get refined? All these processes were taught to us in a very, very well planned, project mannered or project oriented classes. There were many workshops and there were good learning opportunities. I started enjoying this journey as a product design student very well, and simultaneously there was also one more opportunity to learn from a business perspective. It's always important to innovate products, to innovate designs, or to innovate something to solve a problem. But as one of my friends says, it doesn't make sense if any solution is kept on the shelf. It needs to go out into the market and it needs to solve the problem for which it was initially designed for. Only then that innovation makes sense. If you are making something beautiful and storing it in the shelf, it's of no use. Finally, it needs to solve what it was designed for. And one more good thing was, these mini projects we were doing on this learning phase had so many team as well as individual projects where we got to learn through multiple iterative processes. And then came a phase where participating in many business plan competitions, I could learn the basics of entrepreneurship. As a high school student, over the many years of my life, I had studied the life stories or successes of many businessmen or the challenges they faced in their lives. I also wanted to be one myself when I will be capable of it, but I had no clue what I will do. So that phase, I wanted some reorientation for, or I wanted to get some purpose for my life. Then I happened to get introduced into the field of social entrepreneurship. I started reading voraciously about the life and work of many social entrepreneurs around the globe. I started learning from their innovations. I started learning from their solutions they are offering to the people in bottom of pyramid. Social entrepreneurship helps to make lives of people in bottom of pyramid better, to design for that base of the pyramid where usually products are not specially designed for, because always whenever a new innovation comes into the market, it will be designed by keeping in mind people who can afford it, because finally anything that gets launched into the market needs to make revenue and needs to sustain the company. So many of the designs are designed specially for the top of the pyramid. Why can or how can we come up with something and also come up with disruptive business models to create a change in the society sounded very fascinating to me. I had it clear in me that I would pursue the path of being a social entrepreneur. So it was a very new thing, and also I got this opportunity to intern in one of India's leading social enterprises and to interact couple of times with the founder himself, who had more than 30-35 years of experience in this field of social entrepreneurship. It was very inspiring for me, yes, as an young aspiring student, to learn from the likes of such people, and I started dreaming to utilize my product innovation, product design as well as engineering skills to come up with something attractive or something useful for the people in bottom of pyramid. Eventually I completed my masters in product design, then started a company. We named the company on the lines of designing innovative products for society. We wanted to come up with social innovations which shall be relevant to people whose basic needs can be met with such designs or products. It was a big challenge what we should do or how we should do. All the success stories of people looks very flashy and interesting when we read it on books, but in reality it's totally a very difficult career path. And for me, over the last 6-7 years of my entrepreneurship experience, one major challenge has always been with identifying the right set of people. It's like plucking out apples in a basket and collecting the apples. Everything looks good from outside, but when you really start exploring and starting working with people, it really is understood how the team can function. To any organization, people are the foundation. We are lucky to have really good team members. Thanks for joining here. So it has started well, and now we are doing good. So always that big question mark was there, what will be the innovation? I had started designing and developing few machines over the course of my thesis project as a Master of Design student, but those innovations required so much resources, both financially as well as with respect to skilled manpower. We couldn't afford that as a new startup. So I always wanted to find something simple, some simple problem that can be easily designed and developed, and we can take it out to the market to start some revenue generation process in the company. I was very clear from the very first day of running this company that it needs to run on a for-profit business model. even though it's a social enterprise, even though we are catering to people who cannot afford our products or solutions, always there had to be that profit angle. I was very clear about it, because we ourselves as a small startup need to sustain first to create good in the society. If we ourselves are not strong, and if we ourselves are not are still struggling, we can't do something good. So that was the principle, have a for profit social enterprise. And over the last 2 years, as a group member of college volunteers, I was teaching English and mathematics for few of the local nearby underprivileged students, and we used to conduct evening classes for them. We just used to do it on any free space, and it was not a structured teaching environment. There my students used to sit on floor, and we used to teach them as it is in the free time in the evening. So there I had observed that my students used to sit with hunched back and study. So, and then that intrigued me, and I started visiting many schools across 3 different states, Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka and Telangana, visited more than 200 schools and talked to more than 300 teachers, interacted with more than 4,000 students and also more than 400 parents. And this problem was evident across these schools, irrespective of state, and also further research showed us that across India, this problem exists. Children do not have access to basic study infrastructural facilities, no chair, no table, and a child sits with hunched back and studies for long duration, both in school as well as home. So this particular problem, I thought, okay, this is a very this should have a very simple solution. After all, we are designing for a child. No, but I was wrong. I had thought this to be a cakewalk. We would design something very flashy and we should throw it and people would accept it easily. That was my initial perception, but I was totally wrong. It took us more than 1.5 years, and we built more than 40 prototypes of the product we were innovating. And finally, after 40 iterations, after many user feedback sessions, after multiple prototype development stages, we came up with something called Desk Kit. Desk Kit is a school bag convertible into study table. I have the product here for you. This is a simple innovation. It's a normal school bag where a child can carry comfortably. It has accessory space where pen, pencil can be kept. Water bottle compartment is there. Books, tiffin box, other things a child carries can be kept here. But it becomes a small study table where a child sitting on the floor can write comfortably. He need not bend forward, or she need not study with bad body posture. They can set the height of table as per their requirement, and also they can separate it if they want to use it independently. This is a simple innovation, but it took us so many iterative processes and it took us so much effort to come up with this. But at the end, it was received very well by the user community. Children were very happy. Parents and teachers also appreciated the innovation. So Desk Kit is solving the problem of a child. Now the child is able to study with better body posture. Because of that, they are able to study for longer duration. Their concentration levels have increased. Their handwriting is better because now they do not have back pain and neck pain. They can focus on writing better. Better handwriting motivates the child and also boosts the self-esteem of child. Overall, the learning curve is escalating. So this is the importance of such a small study aid, and a product like Desk Kit can make wonders. So over the last 6 years, we have taken Desk Kit to more than 4 lakh children across 19 different states of India. We are on a mission to take Desk Kit to more than 100 million children across the globe, and our team is working day in and day out towards it. So now I told you about the struggles of product innovation, but also there were many challenges when it came to penetrating the market and when it came to coming up with different go-to-market strategies. There also we had to reorient many times, because the strategy always changes. When you are starting from 0 to 100, there will be a different approach. 100 to 1000, there will be a new approach. 1000 to 10,000 or beyond that, there will be multiple other things to be kept in mind. So always we had to reorient, always we had to plan better, always we had to execute better, and the journey is happening, and I don't think that will ever change. Always we need to reorient according to the situation, and always we have to find best way out. So these are few happy children who are the beneficiaries of DeskIt, and so DeskIt is helping to make any space into a study space. And with respect to many youngsters that have come here today, what I would request you to consider in your lives is, there are 17 SDGs of United Nations. So we have started focusing in the field of education, which is to provide quality education to children. DeskIt is one such innovation of ours. Yeah, our startup might come up with multiple other innovations in multiple other domains, but we in India need many such young students to take up such activities and contribute to the society. I request you all to consider this as an opportunity, and definitely feel free to reach out to me for any support with respect to the journey in social entrepreneurship domain, and wish you all the success. Thanks.